Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. So when we have total control of our emotions, our emotional responses, especially to the things that we don't really care for, and we look at those and we do not react in a negative way. As a matter of fact, maybe we react in a positive way. We can say, oh, wow, look at that. Isn't that pretty cool? And what I mean by that is maybe something that you have been asking for hasn't shown up. As a matter of fact, things that are just the opposite of what you've been asking for are showing up. As a matter of fact, more and more and more of the stuff you don't want keeps showing up. And maybe it's because there's a reaction there that is a negative reaction, but it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. What matters is the amount of energy that goes into that, because the universe doesn't see, yes, I want it, no, I don't want it. It only sees your energy. So if you put forth a great deal of energy, negative energy, that's energy, into something that shows up that's not what you want, then you're going to get more of that. So it's an emotional response, an emotional journey, if you will. And once we get control, we get a handle on our emotions. So when something shows up, we don't respond in a negative way. Maybe you got some investments out there in highly volatile things that go up and they go down, they go up and they go down. And so, you jump in and you say, wow, this is going to go right up, but it doesn't. It goes down. And so then there's a negative response, and then that starts to affect not only that, but everything else around you and all those other kinds of things that are in your life. So once you can control that and say, oh, wow, so here's an example. I got into something that goes up and goes down a lot, and it's very volatile. But, I've been watching it and playing with it and working with it for a number of years, so I really kind of know what to expect. But still, I'll react negatively sometimes when it goes down. And I was doing that for a minute, and I said, wait a minute, this is an opportunity. I still have other resources out there that I can add to this and bring my cost of entry down. So now I'm looking at it as, oh, wait a minute, do I want it to go up or do I want it to go down? I don't know if I care. And hey, that's a great place to be if you don't really care, so now I don't really care. I'm watching it and saying, oh, okay, it's going up, that's great. Oh, it's going down, that's great. It's kind of like a leveling off of the emotional playing field. So other things have started to appear better, because if you just can stay in a neutral stance, the universe is going to deliver you abundance. Okay? That's the formula. Be in abundance. So now once I started doing that, then I'm re-scripting certain things. So I started seeing some negative stuff show up, and I said, well, here's what's going to happen next. And I re-scripted it. And so the very next morning from re-scripting it, I get a text in, and it's exactly what I had re-scripted. What? Yes, the all is one and the one is all. It's your universe. It's everything that's inside of you pushed out on the screen of space. So that means you're in control, total control. And how do you get control? Well, the only way to control it is your emotions. And then once you get control of your emotions and your responses, life is 10% what happens and 90% of how we react. So once you get control of those emotions and you say, wow, it doesn't matter. What matters is how I react. So what's going on out there with circumstances don't matter. They don't create the matter. Because why? That's already done. That's the past. That's over with. What matters is how we react to it. What's our energy? Because why? Because we're supplying the energy that creates our world. Yes, all of it. We kind of forget that. We don't know it, or we're unaware of it. We go in and out. We do know it. We forget. We get tied up into, the situation and the circumstances. And it's a process. And so when we can say, wow, all of this is working out for my benefit. It's coming from me for me. And there you go. And remember, we have the energy within us that creates worlds. We're creating our world. So grab that energy, grab the situation, control the emotional response first. Then you can say, oh, well, then you can pick out the stuff that, you don't like so much. It showed up in a certain way. And say, well, how would I like for it to show up? How about, let's just re-script it. Just rewrite it. Hey, there's no such thing as time. It all exists now. So pick the next quantum universe you want to jump into by focusing your attention, rewriting the script for that scene in the theatrical play of your life. So you're the director, writer, producer, sometimes actor, sometimes observer, sometimes both, all the time both, probably. And so now just rewrite it and then kind of sit back. Now you can jump into the audience and watch the scene play out the way you have rewritten it. And if it didn't work, then you can say, cut. You're the director. So cut. And all right, let's redo this again. You guys aren't paying attention. Let's get back on the script. Here's the new script. Here it is. Go. Action. And then watch it. Have fun with it. Play with it. And enjoy the ride.